Hello again and welcome back to some climbing news. Before I start the show, little announcement that apparently today marks a full year of this show. I can't honestly believe how fast time is moving. The more and more of you are joining me on whatever the hell this is. Still kind of have trouble believing people actually enjoy watching this show, but yeah, man, thank you to every single one of you that do. And here's to another year of doing all of this. Been pretty damn fun so far. Anyways, just a friendly reminder that I'm also posting this show to Spotify, so a link to that is down in the comments if that's what you want to hear, I guess, or are interested in. And yeah, man, let's just get this thing started. And starting off the anniversary show with, ironically, like zero bouldering news, because of course not. I can't have what I want on my climbing show's birthday. God damn it. Why? All right, making things about myself aside. Connor Herson, man. Connor freaking Herson just proposed the world's hardest trad climb, a route called Drifter's Escape, which Connor believes merits the honor of being called the world's first ever 9A plus 515A trad route. So a lot to unpack here, but first something I want to ask people because I'm honestly not sure how I feel about it. Because Connor sent this thing last summer, which means that just like Sean Bailey, he's been sitting on this news for a really freaking long time. Now, I'm not of the opinion or idea that we as the general climbing public are owed any information about a person's ascents. At the same time, I can't help but feel like it's kind of different, because both Connor and Sean are featured in the Mellow Film Tour and both announced their ascents after the announcement of the tour itself, which means that they both wanted to say that they'd sent something at the cutting edge of their particular disciplines, but simply chose not to do so for marketing purposes. That kind of it instantly differentiates that to someone like, say, Griffin Whiteside, who just chooses not to say the things he does simply because he doesn't like doing so. Not that there's anything inherently wrong with waiting for an announcement for marketing purposes. I don't know, man. I can't help but wonder if there's a downside to all this, like for climbing in general. Short of like the very obvious question of, anticipation, like the fact that we've been waiting almost a year for Brooks' Segal movie and we're all salivating over the idea of watching it, versus this thing, which we're only really finding out about now. Is there some other downside that anybody can see to this, historic or otherwise? Is there none, and it's a big nothing burger of an issue? I don't know. It's certainly an interesting thing to think about at the very least. But yeah, I haven't formed an opinion myself, which is why I'm just kind of posing the question. I'm interested in people's thoughts though, for sure, so please throw them in the comments. But yeah, let's talk about the actual route. So Drifter's Escape is the fifth pitch of an aid route called Bald Egos, which is a hilarious name, that lives on the Stawamus Chief, which is this big fucker of a rock. It's about 65 feet long, or 20-ish meters for anyone that wants units that actually make sense. Some offense. Not none, just a little bit. Friendly fire, if you will. So yeah, a 20-meter long pitch that goes from one big ledge to another, whose definition as a trad route is actually, interestingly enough, kind of debatable because of two bolts that protect an initial V7 7A plus-ish boulder problem that would otherwise have a, let's say, not recommendable fall where you could hit the ledge you're being belayed from and, die. Well, from that boulder problem, you reach the parallel crack feature that defines the route and makes it, at least in mine and seemingly in Connor's eyes too, an instant classic. Two perfect finger cracks that run up an otherwise featureless white wall of granite? Yeah, that's rad. Dare I say, rad. that was a horrible joke. What's wrong with me, man? I'm sorry. You know what? No, I'm not sorry. I stand by that one. For all the trad dads out there, you're welcome. Anyways, this initial double crack features some insecure 513-ish laid-backing climbing that leads to a rest ledge. Rest ledge is good enough that you can take your hands off while heel hooking, but not so good that you can just kind of chill there forever, a la most knee bar rests in flat anger. So you kind of get your shit together a little bit and get ready for the first crux, a V11 8A crack boulder that revolves around a pogo you can actually see in the Mellow Film Tour trailer. Look it. So yeah, not just really cool, but also really freaking hard looking. Like, let's not forget that the hardest crack problems in the world right now are V13AB, right? The likes of Tom Randall's The Kraken in the UK, or like Didier Berthod's The Anomaly, which in theory is around the same grade. I'm not sure if this will make sense, but in my head, the hardest sport climbs right now have boulders that are 2 grades below the hardest boulder grade currently done as a consensus, right? So Silence with its V15-8C boulder problem. In this case, it makes sense that the hardest trad route would feature bouldering that's 2 grades below the hardest current trad boulder proposed. No idea if it works that way. It might just be a coincidence. Makes sense in my head though. At the same time, you know, the fuck do I know? I'm a boulderer. I'm out of my element. I'm just trying to wrap my head around whatever the hell it is that I'm seeing, because it is outrageous. But yeah, anyways, once you're past the first crux, you're not done. You still have a rest on 2 finger locks, followed by an apparently pumpy 513 sequence up the twin cracks before another poor rest, and the final crux, another 8A/V11 boulder problem that ends when you manage to mantle off a couple of slopers onto a ledge where the anchors live. And yeah, like, you know, it's a low number, but fucking hell, V11 crack climb is ridiculous. I mean, look, this is insane. It took Connor about 20 sessions to send this thing, worked on over 2 summers, which is actually the most time he spent on a trad route. And I mean, it's insane. If this dude is saying this is the world's first 515A trad route, I'm inclined to believe him, given his ridiculous resume. The way other people talk about him as being just straight up orders of magnitude stronger than literally everyone else on the planet just kind of points to this being insanely hard. Connor Herson he's on a league of his own, honestly. Massive congratulations to him. And yeah, this is going to be part of the Mellow Film Tour, so be on the lookout for that whenever it comes about, because it's probably going to be freaking epic. And then Tyler Thompson's just managed to send his 3rd ever 9A plus 515A route, the mega classic, mega famous La Rambla, or, you know, actual pronunciation, La Rambla. Yeah, that's right. I'm flexing for a sec. What up? Okay, now stupid stuff aside, La Rambla is probably most famous because it was the first ever route to be climbed by a woman, specifically Margot Hayes, who did so 26th of February 2017, 9 years ago? Oh fuck. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna need a minute. It's been 9 fucking years? I'm not okay with that. Jesus. I've been doing this show for a year. It's already been 9 years since Margot sent La Rambla? What the fuck? Okay, we're back. 9 years. 9 years since this photo, which I still think is probably one of the best climbing photos of all time, even considering the fact that it doesn't actually have any climbing in it. But anyways, so a little history on La Rambla because it's fun, so why not? The thing was bolted back in 1994 by Alex Huber and was originally meant to end on the same anchor as another route called La Reina Mora. Unfortunately, a hold broke, and so what was supposed to be a full 41-meter long line ended up finishing at an intermediate anchor some 35 meters up the cliff wall. This 35-meter long route was sent by Alex Huber, who called it La Rambla and who suggested it was just as hard as Action Directe, the world's first ever 9A 514D. Interestingly enough, that was at a time when Action Directe hadn't settled at 9A, so Alex Huber actually gave the original La Rambla 8C plus 514C. So, yeah, kind of weird. Anyways, eventually Dani Andrada came along and managed to bolt an extension that linked the original Rambla to the final chains of La Reina Mora by adding a low traverse section. This extension was then first freed by Ramon Julian Puig in 2003, and given that the OG anchor at the top of the first, iteration has since been removed, has turned into the route that Margot would eventually send 14 years later. Since then, La Rambla has basically become a benchmark consensus 9A plus route, one of the most repeated routes of all time, and yeah, man, it is pretty legendary. Repeated route of all time at its grade. Just gotta add that. Famous for having been sent by other women, Chaehyun Seo and Michaela Kirsch, as well as for almost being flashed by Alex Megos, who did it in 2 goes after he fell off somewhere near the top. So yeah, big send for Tyler Thompson as his 3rd ever 9A plus route. And honestly, dude did it pretty freaking quick. I checked his Instagram and he was in Vegas a little over a week ago, which means this thing took him only a couple of days. It's pretty damn fast, man. Congratulations. Big ones to Tyler. Links to his socials and all that good stuff are down there. As always, let's move on. And then US Nationals are in full swing from Orlando, Florida, of all freaking places. Like, literally right now. Why Florida? Weird. I think the lead finals will likely be done by the time you guys are watching this video. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not gonna spoil anything, so just gonna provide links and all that down there so all of you can go watch if that's something you'd like to do. I will do a recap on Monday. Live streams for lead finals for the men and women are in the description below. Finals start starting at 6 p.m. on the East Coast of the USA, so Eastern Time. Speed finals will be tomorrow, February 13th, also at 6 p.m. Eastern, with bouldering as of right now scheduled for Sunday the 15th, with semifinals beginning at 10 a.m. and the subsequent finals being shown later that same day at 6 p.m. all Eastern Time. Like I said, I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm throwing links to everything down there, including anything that has already gone down, like the lead finals, for example, in case you didn't have time to watch live or whatever, and you want to tune in later. But yeah, go nuts, go have fun. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be cool. It's American Nationals. A lot of strong people. And then let's talk big walls, as Matt Segal, I don't know, has managed to send the 14-pitch-long Sombra del Taman 514A, a route that is widely regarded as Mexico's hardest big wall. This is the second free ascent ever of one of the most legendary routes in El Salto, Nuevo León, Mexico. It was freed for the first time back in December 2025 by Damián Cepeda and Álvaro Basic. If this route sounds familiar, it might be because every pitch was first freed by Anna Hazelnut and Connor Rudge back in 2024. They didn't actually do a full red point thing. They just basically proved that freeing this otherwise aid route was possible. And now Matt Segal, I don't know, accompanied by Emily Harrington and John Glassberg, not only has managed to free the whole damn wall in a single day, but he also linked the original 14 pitches into 9 total, which, I don't know, I feel like that kind of makes it harder for yourself. Definitely requires more endurance, but at the same time makes the timing go faster, right? Which allows you to do it in a day. So what you gain in time spent setting up only 9 anchors instead of 14, you kind of lose in making those 9 pitches just a little bit harder, I think. That seems logical, right? I don't know. It doesn't seem to change the grade at all here. Still 514A, still an amazing achievement. Big congratulations to Matt on that one. First free in a day is awesome. And then we have, for my anniversary, I shit you not, another Send of Sleepwalker. Because it's the only boulder I get to talk about today, because of course it is. This time it's Erik Cmiel, who, like, in all honesty, this is gonna sound like I'm shitting on his accomplishments, though this is not at all my intention. It's just, I think if I have to talk about this boulder one more goddamn time, I'm gonna lose my shit. I'm gonna lose my shit. I can literally feel every single one of you checking out whenever I talk about this boulder, and it's a freaking bummer, because at this point, that boulder, at least in my head, has been loved to absolute death. It is so epic, such a cool freaking rock, such an incredible bit of climbing, and yet I am so fucking tired, because it's not just the stand we gotta talk about all the time, it's the freaking sit. Did it get climbed on while it was wet? Is the slot getting bigger? Should the sit be downgraded? Should the freaking, oh my god, shut up! I'm done. I'm done. Erik Cmiel, I'm so happy for you. I'm so goddamn happy that you sent this climb. This rant is not a reflection on your ability to do so, merely the fact that I cannot seem to do a goddamn fucking week without having to mention this stupid boulder. And it pisses me off. Not because talking about the same thing over and 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 over again is annoying, but because the thing has been so goddamn demystified at this point that seeing people do it feels about the same to me as seeing someone send some random indoor gym boulder, and now my feelings are at odds with what I logically know to be true, which is that climb, Sleepwalker, is and should be epic, and that climbing it should be epic. So please, can we just, like, collectively agree to just give this particular rock a rest for, like, I don't know, a couple months, please? There's 69 other 8C+ boulders. Go and try. We can just chill with this one for a bit. Like, even if you did it, Sean Bailey held on to having Sensuality of Man for 11 months. Connor Herson just basically did the same. Let's just all give ourselves a break and stop with the Sleepwalker thing for like 6 months. Please? No? Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Anyone else kind of feeling like me, apart from like doubling your dose of therapy, whatever meds you might be on, I genuinely recommend you go watch the original Jimmy Webb FA. Sleepwalker really is so epic. It's such a shame that we keep seeing it as much and like in the way that we do. Like, it's such a cool climb. I mean, that video just proves how awesome it is, man. It's such a good video, such a cool climb, such a good boulder. And again, to Erik, I'm genuinely super stoked that you managed to do this problem. It's not on you that I'm being an asshole. It's not on you. It's not you, it's me. I really need to see other boulders right now and really focus on myself, you know? You get it? You understand? I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. And then, let's talk Dylan Chuat, who just sent Finite Infinity at 9A514D in Len Interlaken. This thing is a 30-meter long route, so that's about like 90-ish feet or something. Pretty long. Lots of endurance, pretty cool route. Here's a photo of Alex Rohr getting the second ascent of the thing all the way back in 2021 because Dylan just doesn't have a photo of himself on it, because of course he doesn't. Which I mean, I suppose that's fair. But anyways, yeah, this is a quick hit, not much information to give you guys about this because I don't have that information to give, so whatever. Big congrats to Dylan on his send, and yeah, let's move on to Kyra Condie. Honestly, I just want to shout out this movie that she put up on her channel. If you haven't watched it, Rocklands video is an absolute must. Super well made, super fun to see. Always love a good Rocklands video. Got more of a vloggy sort of feel to it, a little bit of like a local comp in there too. Well, still not exactly being a vloggy situation. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. Go give it a watch. Highly recommend. But hey, that was some climbing news as always. Thank you so much for watching. I still can't believe it's been a year of this insanity, but man, it's pretty cool that it has. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Enjoy the weekend. I will see you guys again on Monday. But in the meantime, of course, and as always, go climb some stuff.